around the world and across Nigeria. If you just joined us, you're still on to Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's head straight to our conversation for today. The Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has expressed concern over the recent sharp increase in petrol prices in Nigeria, with prices reaching 998 naira and 1030 naira per litre in Lagos and Abuja, respectively.
This hike follows Nigerian National Petroleum Company Business (NBCL) decision to end its exclusive purchasing deal with Dangote Refinery, allowing other marketers to buy directly from the refinery at market price.
NLC President Joe Ajero criticized the government, stating that repeated fuel price hikes without measure to ease the burden on Nigerians exacerbated the already difficult economic condition.
He pointed out that NPCL, despite being a private company, is controlling prices in a monopolistic manner.
Ajero also warned that the hikes could lead to reduced production capacity, job losses, and further economic instability.
He urged the government to provide a clear and comprehensive plan for national economic development instead of relying on sporadic short-term cuts.
The NLC also called for a reversal of the price hike and emphasized the need for measures to stabilize the situation. Yes, to do this and more this morning, I have with us in the studios um, Joseph Amawiro. He is a public affairs commentator. Good morning to you, sir, and welcome to Enterprise Morning today.
Good morning.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so very much, sir. And also with us in the studios to complement this and have a good discussion and conversation this morning, Cyril Abaku, journalist, public affairs analyst. Good morning to you.
Thank you, Henry and Choma. I'm very glad to be here.
So very much. So let's start with you, sir. A lot the question now is it's no longer news that the hike is effective across Nigeria. I would love to have your take on this particular matter.
Is that to me?
Yes, to you, sir.
Okay. Good morning once again.
Good morning.
Well, it appears like the government is trying to size up the elastic limit of Nigerians towards its economic policies. In the last 16 months or so, the government has increased the price of PMS 5 times. On May 29, 2023, it was 184 in Lagos area. With announcement where subsidy is gone, it went up to 488, also still in Lagos area. Shortly after, it went up to 588. Soon after, it went up to 850. And now it's 998. These are the cheapest prices at which fuel are sold in Nigeria. Various other prices have been going on, even in Lagos area. Some independent have been for 600, 700, 800, 1,000, 1,000 plus. Is the government only thinking about fuel? Is that the only area the government makes money from? Although it says NNPCL is a private company. How private is NNPCL? When the shareholders are Ministry of Finance and NNPC. Ministry of Finance, Federal Ministry of Finance cannot be a private organization. Who is the Minister of Petroleum? Is the president. And the president is quiet when this is going on. But when there are bad day occasions, he sends bad day messages to people from wherever he is. They say it's in London. From London, he has sent 70th bad day message to Oloride just today. But people are complaining. There's lamentation galore in Nigeria. The streets are empty because people cannot move. And when people don't move, the economy cannot move. And movement is a natural characteristic of man. Man has to move to be able to get things done. Now movement is curtailed, restricted, because people cannot buy fuel. I think the government has to think better, do better than just fuel policy. The petroleum policy, the fuel hike policy is getting to the nerves of people. And the ripple effect is that jobs will be lost, like you mentioned. Health conditions will be affected because people are frustrated. And when people remain frustrated for long, they become depressed. And when they are depressed, so many other things follow. So I would suggest to the government they should put on their thinking cap and do other things. Agriculture. Why don't we hear about? We've been talking about kibbutz, agricultural estate. Why can't they think about agricultural estate in every state of the federation? If we have 36 agricultural estates, food will be produced and food prices will come down. But we don't hear agricultural policies. We only hear policy affecting petroleum. Is that the only thing that the government thinks about every day?
All right, so while we talk about agricultural policies and all, yes, so please, we would appreciate if you maybe sit back a bit so we can get a bit of your headroom. And is that okay, sir?
My phone is saying it's overheating. Let me come.
All right, so Cyril Abaku, and I wanted to ask, of course, Joseph did say that this is the 5th time the president has increased the fuel in Nigeria. And we'd love to ask on the sincerity of the president in this particular case. On May 29th, he said subsidy is gone. And just about the time, there was a sharp increase. So speak to us on the sincerity of the president in all of this.
Okay, so let's face it, right? Subsidy arguably have to do, and I'm not absolving the president, but let's just say that the May 29 episode of last year was a corollary to the statement of subsidy is gone. Or even if it was Buhari that took the subsidy and he only came to implement it. But when it says subsidy is gone, it's a natural consequence. I cannot say that the president or whoever fixed the price at the time. Of course, the price naturally, people began to hoard even what they had. Okay, it was a natural economic behavior. But ever since after that particular pronouncement by the president, we have seen the NNPC willfully inflating the price of petrol. And the question is, isn't it because there's no consequence for such bad behavior? The NNPC has a mark to be a sabotaging element of Nigerian society. They are the other time, as soon as the other Dangote was, that's the last before this one, the other Dangote was about to roll out his product, they jacked up the price. Then, by Dangote's own account, falsified the amount they said they used to buy petrol from Dangote. Dangote came to say that's not how much I sold it to them at. So clearly there's fraud somewhere. Now, again, after serious resistance, if that's what they call it, NIP is saying that their hands, that are taking their hands off being the sole off-takers, being the sole buyers of Dangote petrol. Then they now still go on to jack up the price. So the question is, will Dangote play along with them to jack up his own supply sum, so that way the price stays high automatically, or will he be able to sell his own petrol to the other marketers at reasonably moderate cost, so that if NNPC says want to sell the petrol at 2,000 per liter, and the marketers say, hold on a minute, we're buying from Dangote for cheaper, and so we can sell at 1,000, will that now force NNPC to come down, or is that some kind of informal agreement somewhere in which we will see that NNPC will even be the one selling at the least? Because at this morning, fuel is selling for 1,000, 2,000 like that. Everybody seems to be selling at a price he likes. But what we want to see is if marketers are able to buy from Dangote directly and they are buying at reasonably cheaper costs. Because this one that NNPC raised the price again, there's no economics to explain it. There's no science to explain it. The marketers, NNPC is no longer a monopolistic player, right?
So it's said.
So it appears. If all the other marketers can now go to Dangote to buy directly from him, why? I thought not only they would have been worried of another maybe they would have even beaten the price down in the hope that if others go from Dangote are cheaper so that they can compete. But as this now they jacked up the price. So it looked like voodoo economics, and we need to see where this ends.
Let me actually bring out this because this recent development is coming after NNPC decided to terminate its exclusive purchase agreement with Dangote Refinery. Now, this point when Nigerians are proud that we now have a refinery in the country. We are buying petrol at this exuberant rate. Can we not say Dangote Refinery is a blessing? Of course.
The refinery being either a blessing or a cost, for me is dependent on outcomes, and not just one outcome, but several outcomes. Okay, so first of all, government hasn't done the right thing, or let's even say hasn't done the best thing by trying to use backward tactics to try to clamp down on, or what's the word, crush the refinery to the point that where Dangote almost sold it off. But the point is, if Dangote comes in as a player, ideally we should say locally bought crude, locally refined crude, right? Locally sold. The amount should be reasonably cheaper.
All right.
Should be reasonably cheaper because cost of production is less because it's in Nigeria. But the NNPC wouldn't let that happen.
Okay.
The NNPC even went as far as constantly increasing the price of petrol. It's like they are setting an ambush for Dangote, and then by Dangote's own accounts, lied and said that we are buying the Dangote petrol at a higher cost. Even if you didn't say how much is properly sold it to them. So now there's some kind of confusion, right?
All right.
Which none of the parties to the conflict is even willing to help us to resolve. Now, as NNP is about to pressure, as it seems, and I said we're going to take our hands off of being monopolistic buyers of his petrol. Let everybody that has a truck, has a bucket, has a basket, has a cup, has a glass, has a tumbler, has a mug, go and buy by yourself and sell to Nigerians. The NNPC comes back again overnight to jack up the price of petrol. If the marketers won't join in this grid, if Dangote won't be taken it by the loss or profit, I want to see a case where the NNPC is left high and dry, where marketers can go in and buy petrol at buyable costs and sell to Nigerians at sellable costs. Because it frankly doesn't make so. What then would have been the consequence of having a local refinery? If having a local refinery, because the threat the marketers issued earlier was to say, look, if buying from NNPC will even be higher, it pays us to continue to import. So that's how the NNPC perhaps went and thought and said, this thing doesn't just sit right anymore. We have to do something about it. And let's be clear. The villain that NNPC appears to have become has to be blamed. The NNPC itself being at the center of the whole shenanigan is one thing, but the NNPC has bosses it reports to. It is either those bosses are not aware of what's going on, which is criminal negligence, or those bosses are the ones who are actually telling the NNPC to carry on this part of infamy.
All right. So while we look at that, let's just go for a quick break, and we'll be right back. It's still Enterprise Morning. Please don't go anywhere.
Enterprise TV, your one-stop shop for news, programs, human angle stories, the economy, sports, and much more. We go the extra mile to bring incredible details to you. So hop on the train now. Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.
All right, you're welcome back. This is still Enterprise Morning, reaching you right here from Lagos Center. You're welcome back. All right, we still have with us in the studios Cyril Abaku and Joseph Amaro joining us virtually from Lagos, Nigeria. All right.
Yeah, Joseph Amaro, I'm there. Okay, we lost him there. Let me go over to you, Cyril Abaku. Now, it's been revealed that the main reason why the price of petrol increased is because, according according to the marketers, that the Nigerian government has completely removed subsidy from the petrol price. Now, at this point, we ask, if they completely removed it, does it mean that when the president declared no more subsidy on May 29, when he was sworn in the year 2023, the subsidy was partly removed? Is that what it means?
Subsidy was never removed. And I do not believe that subsidy has even now been totally removed. Let me tell you what's going on. There is a deliberately orchestrated opacity. Okay, an opacity that if they came and told you after 5 years that subsidy was being paid little by little, you believe it. If they told you they never paid, you believe. They've created a climate where anything can be run into the situation and you just believe it. Nothing could be more fraudulent. And for me, that is the real problem. The NMPs came out the other day to say they made 3 trillion naira profit. But it was not paper profit because as they made the profit, they also spent it. They only came from us. You know, Nigerians don't understand a lot of these things. The mathematics of business and stuff, they don't understand it. So it's a gray area kind of thing. The other time, the NMPC also came and said that they've not been paying subsidy for the past 9 years. And they're only paying shortfalls. I mean, are you communicating to non-human beings? The president said subsidy is gone. The former government said we are going to pay subsidy in June last year. And NFS came to say that they have not been paying subsidy. Clearly, somebody is the fool. It is said that the person communicating the lie is the fool, or the person believing that lie is the one taking up the role of the fool. But somebody somewhere clearly isn't saying the truth. For me, if the NFS has come out to say we're taking our hands off of this business entirely, but the question again to ask is, NNPC stepping off as sole off-takers. Well, what are the other characteristics that could make them still act like regulators? Because they ought not to be. They ought to be just another player in the market. The person that should be speaking to us is the Minister of Petroleum.
Which of them now? Is it the president who is the substantive Minister of Petroleum and Resources? Or
The
Lokobiri?
president is the Minister of Petroleum. Maybe Heineken Lokobiri should be the one doing, because I mean, he should be the one talking. Because he's the minister, he's government. NNPC is strictly says no longer government actually. Except that the shareholders are Minister of Finance and Petroleum. But frankly speaking, the NNPC is just another investor in the market. Okay. So it may come to us as a welcome development that NNPC has taken its hands off of. But maybe somebody will be asking, so I mean, taking hands off of the thing and then the price going up. I think that's where we've not been able to tie the two things together, frankly. And the NLC is now saying that look, all of what has happened is just a case of government reneging on its words, having promised that with the minimum wage, the price of petrol wouldn't go up again. That much actually roasted when the agreement was reached. 70K isn't anything to go by today. But there was some sort of gentleman understanding that look, we will try to keep conditions that will make 70K however manageable, pliable. But with where we are now, I don't understand how you want to buy petrol at what we used to pay 100 naira from junction to junction now is around 300 or more.
True.
Nigerians should normally go for a bottle of something, soda, right? Bread, then akara. That's how Joajero put it. If a bottle of one soft drink is, let's say, 500 naira, 500 naira, akara one is no longer 100 naira. Akara that used to be 10 naira, and it's now around 200 naira. The one for bread is 1,000 naira or something close to that. It means one meal will cost you around 2,500.
That's about
Because a lot of Nigerian workers live in the offices. You know, this whole story just goes round and then weekend it goes on. You are killing family life, you're killing productivity, you're killing production, you're killing and you're killing businesses. So I would have thought, frankly speaking, you see, the way Israel is run, for example, people like Israel. So let me just use Israel as an example. Governments all over the world are largely collegial. When I mean collegial, you would find that before government comes up with a decision, in fact, in the White House, they have, but you know, if it's democratic, it's democratic, Republican, they have people in the White House who are Democrats, who writes policy job papers from the Republican point of view. So the president wanted to say we're going to raise taxes. There are Democrats in the White House who will write a Republican counter argument. Then they sit down to debate it before they come up with it. That's what they do. You see people talk to the Prime Minister of Israel. But in Nigeria here, sometimes you don't know who is even calling on the shot. You just wake up to hear that price of petrol. Look, I see how I just woke up to the root shock yesterday. That price of petrol has gone up once again.
And up till today, queues are still all over the place, and it's still, still fine.
It's one thing for government to say price of petrol is, see what normally happens. It is normal law of cause and effect. When the price of a commodity goes up, the only way it can stay up is if there is demand for that commodity.
Okay.
Which means that between the announcement and now, there's been a shortage of there's been a cutting off of the supply chain has been disrupted.
Okay.
So those who still have what to sell in their are the ones who are now and they are not. How much is the liter petrol now? Officially, you hear
998 in Lagos, 1,013 naira in Abuja.
Those are arguably in select filling stations.
NNPC, that is.
Because among the major marketers and the general marketers, it's not that same price.
Very true. All right, so let's get to you, Joseph Amaru, and I'd love to ask you this particular question, especially as it relates to Owando in all of this. And let me give you a bit of a backstory here. In 2019, Owando fully divested its equity interest in OVH, resulting in Vital and Helios holding 50% equity interest respectively. Upon acquisition of OVH by NNPC Limited, both NNPC Retail and OVH effectively became subsidiary of NNPC Limited, of course, which Owando has a 50% equity interest in. So knowing the interest of Owando in all of this, and of course, let's not forget or pretend we don't know the link of Owando to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What do you make of this submission, if that is what that could be called?
It is curious that Owando has become so prominent in the petroleum industry since this president took over. Owando purchased Ajib in the Niger Delta recently, and all the Ajib oil wells are now owned by Owando. As a matter of fact, Owando is now called Ajib is now called Owando Energies Nigeria Limited. That's a sign you see on Ajib former office at Mile 4 Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt. Now, it is also curious that Owando now has 50% of equity shares in NNPCL. Wale Tinubu, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they sound so similar.
They're not similar. It's actually his nephew. It's not similar. It's nephew.
Well,
Wale is the nephew of Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Oh, he's a nephew.
Yes, he is.
So what do we read out of it? I guess as good as mine. If the petroleum minister is Tinubu and the Tinubu family is owning all the petroleum industry facilities, what do we say of it? So can we now believe that oil is now being privatized by one family? It is curious. And Nigerians are just standing by and watching. Are we going to have the Lagos experience in Nigeria, or are we already having the Lagos experience in Nigeria, where one man appears to own almost everything? Like I said the last time when I spoke, why are we so particular about oil? Oil. Why is the policy all about oil? Is that the only natural resource that we have. Is that the only thing that we have in this country? What about the solid minerals, the blue economy? Why are we not hearing anything about these aspects of the Nigerian economy? We are hearing just one bit: oil, oil, oil. It is curious. I just say it is curious. That's how I can conclude.
Cyril Abaku, please speak to if you might expatiate more, fleshing this out. Why would the substantive minister of petroleum, who is the president, obviously, of course, there is this feeling that he has no part in Owando itself. But let's not forget, just like Omaru did say, help us make sense of this. And why are Nigerians suddenly pretending like they don't know what is happening?
Nigerians know what is happening. Some people say that the president himself, it was only at the end of his second year in Lagos that his policies or his reforms began to bite. In the little way that, in the way that his government is remembered today as laying the foundation for what Lagos has become now, and that it should be given the benefit of the doubt. We clamored for the NNPC to take its hands off of this monopolistic regulator player thing. Thankfully, that has come to be now. So maybe we want to see what the fruit of this new day will be. What I mean is this. Let's look at how many more independent marketers will be given access and license to live from Dangote.
Okay.
And let's see what happens when the Nigerian market begins to feel the pulse or feel the impact of Dangote Petroleum flooding the market, as it were. So I think that until that has fully, because all this while we always said the NNPC was sitting on top of this whole situation, but now they're taking their hands off, albeit with the increase in price, which I'm not able to fathom right now. But let's give it a little gestation period and let's see what the impact of that is going to be. I want to believe that this will be one move that brings some sort of succor to Nigerians. You can't hide it if that's what it is. You can't talk it away, and you can't dismiss it, because if you have 100 marketers, 200 marketers, as the case may be. If they all buy from Dangote Petroleum, who wants to sit in one place and dictate to all of them? So let's see how they buy, and then let's see how this purchase also. When they've taken from his refinery, let's see how it affects the economies of the six geopolitical zones. For example, now NNPC only comes to say Lagos this amount, Abuja that amount. But before now, what the PF was doing for us, Petroleum Collection Fund was doing for us, was to make sure that petrol was sold at the same price every part of Nigeria. Okay, some people have said that when they say subsidy was gone, even under when they brought price variation, they didn't say anything about PF and all those agencies. But if what we're seeing is what it is, if we're moving into a purely organic demand and supply market forces economy, then I want to see how it plays out when they begin to live from Dangote in Lagos by themselves. All the marketers, that is definitions, right? Let's see what the impact of that is. And for those who still believe that Dangote may not be the answer, let them also go to Belgium or Kuwait and lift. And then let's compare. Because in the end, if the quality is in there, pricing becomes the determinant factor of where I want to buy and where I wouldn't buy. Okay? So let's see how that plays out. The other local refineries that the minister said it was misquoted, it was misquoted. I think it is now clear that those refineries may not.
Okay.
It's clear. So
Thank you, Cyril. While we post home, Mr. Joseph, let me ask this question. Now, looking at how the federal government, as yesterday, planned and they've opened up a portal, and this portal is to help Nigerians convert their vehicles from petrol to compressed natural gas. Can we say they already foresee this coming up and they're looking for a way to help Nigerians ease their burden to now be able to help them convert their petrol cars to CNG gas. And in a statement issued on Wednesday, let me read from the National Orientation Agency on the opening of the payment plan application portal. The government said the payment options allow people to convert their vehicles now and pay later with affordable monthly installment at competitive rates. How do you see the development?
Well, it will have been a good development, but what is the cost? I had somebody, a radio presenter, complaining this morning that she attempted to do that, and they say it's 1 million plus. And when she complained, they said they will give her a discount where it will come to 900,000 plus. People are complaining of no money. People are complaining of hard times, and you are bringing in investments that will yield almost nothing in the short run. Where would the average Nigerian car owner get $1 million to go and convert to CNG before they buy the gas itself? And how many kits do they have? How many places do they have? How many avenues do they have for this conversion? How many conversion spots do they have? How many cars can be converted so soon? How long will it take to convert these cars? I think it's easier said than done. The option is, let's have CNG is okay. Let it be an alternative, but it shouldn't be a compulsion. If people find it profitable and cheaper, they will go for it.
All right, thank you so very much, Joseph Amaru, for your time. Cyril Abaku, your parting short on this, especially as regards. Do you think the regulatory body for petroleum at this point, since it's an even playing ground, should be dismantled? Because of course it doesn't serve any good.
Well, not necessarily. Perhaps in keeping with the Rosline report, whatever. Already they have merged a number of them, right? As a subset of the Minister of Petroleum. For example, if Dangote, you still need to do quality tests. For everything you lift, you still need to do quality tests. If I'm bringing my fuel from China, you still need to do quality tests, okay? You still need to check on due pricing and all of that. As a matter of fact, when Dangote said that the amount NFS was quoting that they used to buy petrol from it was not how much they bought it at. Nobody even said anything. Imagine that sort of thing. So we need to, they could be there, but they shouldn't be at the expense of the job that they're out to do. And the NNPC, like I said, we've only seen them take the first step at taking a backseat, sort of, or at going to be equal with every member of the team. All of us as investors. But I hope that is all that there is to it. Because the issue of determining price was just one part of what a regulator will be doing normally. But now they've taken us off of it. I hope that, it's not... let's just see how... I'm personally interested in hoping, in seeing now when everybody goes to buy directly from one source. And let's see how... That's what I really want to see.
Choma, while we discuss all of this, one thing we are not actually talking about in the whole picture is the effect on the people. As the United States build up for elections come November, what they keep talking about is the middle class. How can we improve the middle class? Because it is what makes a sustainable economy. In Nigeria, middle class is totally gone.
And a lot of businesses would actually shut down.
Definitely. Very, very true. Well, that's just about the time we have today. We'd love to say thank you to you, Sir Joseph Amaru, for your time. We truly do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so very much, Cyril Abaku. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Anytime.
Yes. All right. People, that's just about the time we have for today. We'd love to say thank you to you once more for being part of it. We truly do enjoy your time. And please do well to see us and visit us and also be part of our community. You can find us at enterprisetvnews.com. And also you may like, comment respectfully and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwebiki.
Sure.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.